All right, we're live.
Okay, thank you. I would like to call to order the meeting of the Oregon Racing Commission for Thursday, May 21st, 2026. Okay, first of all, roll call. First, welcome everybody. It's nice to be here on such a gorgeous day inside. So I'm glad you're all here. First of all, Karen, could you call the roll, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. For the record, my name is Karen Carson. I serve as the Director of Administration for the agency. Today in attendance, we have Chair Doherty,
Here.
Vice Chair Barry, Commissioner Fowler, Commissioner Stein,
Here.
and Commissioner Kim. Excuse.
Thank you very much. Okay, hope we all have a copy of the agenda. And so we're looking at this. Are there any additions or corrections to the May agenda? Any additions? Okay, so I can entertain a motion to approve the May agenda. I'll move to approve it. Okay, thank you very much. Do we have a second? So, okay, second. All those in favor, they say aye. Aye. The agenda is approved. Next we have is the minutes from actually March. We're kind of a month behind on minutes, but the ones we are approving today are the March 2026 meeting minutes, and you all have copies of them. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Okay, seeing none, get a motion to approve the minutes from March 2026.
I move we approve the minutes.
I'll second. Thank you. Got moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And it's passed. Okay, next we have, we will move on. We've got some old business, and first thing we have official board. And so, Director Webb.
Good afternoon, Chair Doherty and members of the commission. For the record, my name is Connie Lennon. I serve as the Executive Director of the Oregon Racing Commission. I would like to welcome the many representatives from our online wager licenses. Can you all stand up for a minute so people can recognize you? Thanks very much, you guys. We have one other really special guest in the audience. Thank you for joining us, Mrs. Floyd. After that, I would like to start talking about House Bill 5402. That's the House bill that we've been talking about that gives $1 million to each one of the fairs. Department of Administrative Services has emailed out all the agreements to all of the fairs. I'm sorry, to the counties, if they go to the county. All the counties have them, with the exception of Eastern Oregon Livestock, because that one has to change. It should not be going to the county, it should be going to the livestock association. That won't happen until the beginning of the next legislative session. But the four that do have them, I heard from her this morning, our representative from Administrative Services, and they have gotten none of them back yet. Once they have the return signed copies, they will process them and they will give them $2 in approximately 2 weeks. So they should have that money relatively. We will continue to provide updates to the commission as we receive them and we are I want to highlight the exceptional work that's happening inside the agency, and we have many exceptional things that have occurred. First, I'd like to did Dawn online, Dawn Rome. Can you tell she's on?
I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. I want to recognize Dawn Rome. I know you love public recognition. She's a supervision. So don't worry, you don't have to talk. You just have to listen. She's our supervisor of paramutuals. Dawn oversees the accuracy and accounting of both our fair means, commercial means, off-track betting locations, along with extensive special projects and research, including all legislative required Greyhound data reporting. She has also provided significant additional support in review of online wagering materials, including the first round of reviews of all the licenses that have come in this time. I've asked Micah several times if he is overworking you, Dawn. You are super valuable and we cannot afford to lose you. If you have a problem with the amount of work he's giving you, please let me know. And there are others to thank as well. Actually, I did shout out to every single member of my organization. Unfortunately, I don't have time right now. I do want to congratulate Kayla McClay on successfully passing her steward's exam, which I know personally is very difficult because I failed one portion of that exam myself. She will be spending more time in the steward stand to gain more experience. We are preparing for the summer meet. It is underway with horses working off the vet's list. I just heard from Dr. Ross, who just landed in Medford, who is coming in from the East Coast so she can get some horses off the vet's list. Wanted to make sure we can get every single horse out there. I also want to thank Dr. Lombard, who probably is online. She has, because all the horses weren't going to be ready this week, she has personally offered to drive down there with me at 4 a.m. on the 3rd, work the rest of the horses off, and drive all the way back the same day, which is a 4-hour drive each way, just to make sure that we can get as many horses as possible on the track. Also, I'm going to give a shout out to Michael Lloyd for representing us as our ambassador of public services. He's supposed to be in Salem right now for the award presentation. He said it's okay. But he said, we can all just call him Lord Micah. Of course, we wouldn't be here with all the help of Karen Parkman and our support from Lillian. So thank you to basically every member of my team. In addition, one more thing. Floyd, who's expert with starting gates, especially in schooling horses and how to use them, and Deputy Stewart Crystal also greatly assisted in going all the way out to the Umatilla region as part of a pre-seasoning conditioning effort. Thank you again for your help. On the e-board, after further consultation with the governor's office, I've withdrawn our request for the e-board at this time. We're considering other options for that. If you run the budget committee meeting, there may be some notes on that from there. We continue to work into our best option. I had a request this month to try and get some more information on wagering, other types of wagering that's occurring within the state, and chose to focus on the lottery. I asked if I could get a lottery representative here. Unfortunately, they could not. They're very busy, as all of us are. So they provided me with a concise overview. And if the commission has further questions, they're glad to answer them. But as a starting point, I'll give this overview of the lottery. I promise I won't take too much longer. The Oregon Lottery operates a diverse portfolio of games, including traditional draw games, scratch it, Keno, video lottery, and statewide online sports betting through its exclusive partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, which we have an affiliate. We have another end of DraftKings offering. These offerings are designed to appeal to a wide range of players while generating revenue for continually and statutory beneficiaries. Lottery revenue continues to play a significant role in Oregon's public landscape. In FY 2005, lottery transferred $887 million to Oregon beneficiaries, marking one of the strongest contribution years in its history. That's in addition to the money that it gives to the state to operate. These funds support education, economic development, natural resources, veteran services, and other statewide priorities. That $5 million that the county fairs are getting, that is part of those funds that are probably going to. The lottery maintains a statewide network. I'm not actually absolutely sure that it's coming out of water. It's coming out of somewhere. The lottery maintains a statewide network of approximately 3,900 retailers, including roughly 2,700 video lottery locations, which each one of those having up to 60 machines. It employs more than 400 staff supporting operation, security, technology, finance, compliance, and responsible gambling programs. The agency continues to earn national recognitions for its responsible gaming initiatives and works with the Oregon Health Authority to provide free prevention and treatment service. That concludes our report.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Questions? Thank you very much, and thank you, staff. We appreciate it. Makes our jobs a whole lot easier. So anyway, thank you very much. Okay, the next thing on the agenda, we have Vice Chair Barry with an ADW committee report.
Thank you, Chair Gordon. Very briefly, it's Director Care Mutuals. Mike Lloyd is going to go into further detail later on. I would say that today, meeting reviewed the licensing process, and later on, Mike recommended we keep them all. We also had a discussion of how to mitigate harm and what's being done actively in this industry to mitigate harm through wagering to the public. And I want to say that the folks were able to speak very cogently to doing a number of things to screen dangerous gambling, to make sure that there are opportunities for people to get help if they need it. I really appreciated all the things people had to share about that. Our and then last week we discussed AI pretty briefly, just as it pertains to its potential to leveling the playing field potentially between the wagering public and others who have more resources to analyze odds with. And it basically the conclusion of that discussion was that AI is a thing. We should be very careful in the language we use around it, because if we're not careful, end up in dangerous territory. That's a saying. So that it was very good conversation. I think for someplace if you want to look at it. Any questions?
I assume the AI discussion is not over. That's something that
This is an
ongoing in many different areas.
and do you want to elaborate on it a little bit?
To elaborate on that, we had talking points within the ADWs in recent past, and something that came up from that was that there is current legislation that's in the early stages in New York, and in traditional gambling, the House shouldn't have an advantage over the wagers. So there's concern about AI being used in handicapping and such. But in horse racing, because we're not the House. There is no House against the bettors. The bettors are betting against each other. So the more advantages you can give to the betting public, the better off they are. Everybody wins. So trying to get places like New York to understand that you can't just wrap every type of gambling into an argument is really.
My takeaway, it's very nuanced how these things are regulated. Everybody seems to recognize that they're looking for some regulation, but it's very careful.
Any questions? Okay, next we've got Budget Committee. We met the other day, and one of the major things, of course, with the upcoming biennium, and that's 27-29 budget. So those of you from out of state, Oregon has a 2-year budget cycle. And so for example, right now, we'll be planning the budget for the next 2 years. So that's something that they're working on, the first draft, at least what meeting on. Our agency is working on this first draft of the budget, and waiting for audit reports and reports that are coming in to see where things are. And so we're just in the beginning of the budget process. There was a concern with the and Commissioner Fowler, one of add things to.
Okay.
One of the things was, we went to the emergency board, and the emergency board again was out of state. Our senators and representatives that meet on the off years, because one thing Oregon has to do, we have to have a balanced budget. And so we've got an emergency board that deals with emergencies that happen during the biennium, when the legislature is not always meeting, to go through and deal with those. And so the emergency board will do it. And we went, just because we did not get all of our funding that we did. And so we were going to go to the emergency board to ask for some additional funds. But the governor's office strongly suggested that we not do that. And we wait. And so we didn't really have the opportunity to go to the emergency board. And it's one of these things, we have the dollars, but we can't use the dollars. According to the budget process. So that was one of the things we were dealing with, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's an issue that we can't deal with down the road, because the emergency board just doesn't meet once, they meet throughout the years. And if we can go through and talk to them about how important it is, especially because the additional money that we wanted to spend was going to tracks, the associations, that kind of thing, to make things safer. Since equines and jockey safety is our number one concern, that maybe we can start talking to other people on the agency board and so on, saying this is where the money was going to go. And I know that we're trying to be very conservative on spending, and we are very conservative on spending. So those are the sort of things that maybe we can do to communicate to higher levels the importance of using the money that we have to make sure that the tracks are safe. So a little bit of an education on how the process works. That, and then the last thing we talked about was fair meets. And usually what we do is all of us go to fair meets. Some of us go to more than one. And but for budget cuts and trying to cut back on budgets, it was the idea that maybe we could just go to one. And what we do is encourage people to go to the fair meet that's closest to where you live, and do that. So we're going to be talking about that a little later on. So that was it. Anything else, man? I think you covered it. Okay. That was plenty. Okay, the next thing, any other old business? We don't have any. The next thing we have under new business, and this I have been spending a little time on ADW. But Mike, a review of current licenses for following two ADWs that we had here, and then we're talking to others.
Authority Commissioners, Executive Director Wynn.
And I was going to say, just for the audience, you also want to see what ADWs are.
All right. I am Michael Lloyd, Director of Mutuals, staff member of the Oregon Racing Commissioner and Racing Commission. And we are reviewing advanced deposit wagering companies in our statutes and regulations and rules that's referred to as multi-jurisdictional hubs, wagering hubs. This is a process that we do fairly often. Quarterly, we review. Annually, we present to the commission status of the ADWs. But on a 5-year basis, currently, every ADW comes up for a license renewal. And that license renewal is comprehensive. And it's essentially a repeat of a new licensee coming in. I would like to echo Dr. Wynn's earlier comments and thank Dawn Rome for such significant and comprehensive work she did preparing these reports in advance of my review. Also, a big thank you to every ADW, they're all here in this room, for providing all this documentation so thoroughly in advance of when these reports would normally be presented. These renewals are July 1st through June 30th in a 5-year rotation. So normally we would have been doing this in June, but we're all here for our in-person meeting here in May. They were very gracious to provide this documentation early. So they could all be here to meet you in person and discuss and defend their renewal requests. Towards that, there are two of the 8 licensees that are just up for end of year informational reporting. The DraftKings and Gameplay Network. I'm still going to invite each one of them up here to share the table with me while I go through their review. There's no action required of the commission for these two, mostly informational, but there's an opportunity to ask any questions you have yourself or representative who's here. Then we'll move on to the renewals, each of which will require a vote of approval or follow-up. So if I may continue, the first one I'd like to bring to the table is Representative Alex DeVito of DraftKings.
For the record, please introduce yourself. With the microphone.
Oh, this is actually hot.
Hi there, Alex DeVito, horse racing senior associate with DraftKings for DraftKings Racing.
As many of you probably recall, DraftKings was a licensee we approved 2 months ago. DraftKings was previously a an affiliate, a services partner of Churchill Downs Technology, a corporate company. It's also here in the room. And although CDTIC still continues to do some of the work for DraftKings, there is a controlled migration on a state-by-state basis to control under DraftKings Racing. Right now, there's one site operating, racing.draftkings.com. In the past 2 months, clearly the last audit I performed on them was in March, very recently. There is not much new to report, but they promised to be here in person to meet you and answer any questions you may have in person. Since their launching time they've been live, they've been very responsive to any follow-up questions and getting up deployment challenges that with reporting have been addressed. All of the taxes and fees have been paid timely. We have an Oregon operational presence. The responsible game wagering components are very robust. I actually have no issues or comments to contradict anything that is looking fantastic on the report here. There's no issues of note, and they just remain at licensing for instance. So with that, is there anything you wish to say?
Just happy to be a part of it. Thank you guys for being partners with us.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
I do, Jen. Do you have a recommendation?
That was the last one.
So they were asked that question when they were going on to like.
I went out the door. I went out the door.
You can answer that.
They were stopped when they saw the logo on my shirt, and someone said, "Hey, so can you tell me who's going to win the Preakness?" Why, yes, we can.
No, we do not.
I'll tell you who's gonna win the Preakness. It's gonna be a horse. So anyway, Commissioner Stein.
What avenues to separate sports wagering and horse racing? I have a concern that a lot of sports wagering will take away from wagering on horse. What is DraftKings, I don't know if you want to call it philosophy, but business model to, is it pure integration of both of them, or is there a separation of the two?
I would say closer to the former integration. Currently, the racing app is available underneath the OSB online sportsbook all in one. We're moving to an integrated super app is what we're calling. So the name will be DraftKings, where you'll be able to access any of our products, and racing will be in the channel changer and header the same way you see any other sport or league. And the philosophy internally is that it's additive to everything we do. That as sports seasons ebb and flow, there's always racing going on. There's racing overnight when we're here, when it's international. And we see it as a way to sort of expand the options for players. So we kind of see it that it's something that should be attracting more players rather than sort of falling by the wayside.
Question there? No one got it.
But
Yeah,
I'm
question, please.
skeptical, that's all.
Yeah, it's and there's more and more sports betting in Oregon. Like this. Anyway, any other questions? Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
Sure, sure.
Where are you based out of? Just out of curiosity.
Me personally?
Yeah.
I'm here in Oregon while we're getting up and running, and I
Okay.
work out of San Diego from when I got hired and work remote, which is why I'm able to come up and be in Oregon now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
We made sure they have Oregon present before. They're like, can't you wait a little bit? We're like, no, you better show us you got that apartment, so I live here.
You got to be the guy.
No,
Thank you. Moving on, the next company for just informational sharing is Gameplay Network. And Representative Russell Klein, who will have to speak this himself.
Hi, Russell Fine, President of Gameplay Network.
Gameplay Network is operating their site horseplay.com as well as a service supplier, lonestar.bet. They have been a licensee, I actually don't know how long, since 2013 for a racing commission. Their last audit was performed in March of 2025. No issues were reported. My next audit with them is next week. So all aspects of their license, the Oregon business license, the bond is required, everything's up to speed, all fees and taxes have been paid. The HRA source market fee agreement, as also previously noted, is up to speed and signed even early from when it needs to be in effect, July 1st. No issues are noted, and they remain a licensee in good standing with Oregon Racing. Is there anything you wish to share?
Yeah. This has been a very fortunate year for us. Our product is, for a very long period of time, beginning to grow and develop the kind of revenue that seems to be something that we believe is going to be productive for everybody in the coming year. So it's been a really exciting year for us. I want to call out for the commissioners who were not here at the time. We've been working on this with Connie, with the Racing Commission, with the horsemen for more than 10 years. We have all invested an enormous amount of time. The support we've gotten as a small company, we could never have done this without them. We approached them over a decade ago and said, we have this idea. We don't know if it's going to work. And it's not going to make money for a long time. So we're all going to spend a lot of time. We're not going to have a lot of taxes to pay because we are going to generate the revenue, but we think this is going to work. And we'd like you guys to help us to get there. And they did. We were granted a license. The only time a license ever been granted when we didn't have an operation, we had an idea. They granted us a provisional license on the idea so we can go get it financed. The amount of investment that the Racing Commission has put into this venture has been a lot. Right? And we would not be here as a company. Finally, at a point where we start to see this is going to begin to thrive soon without them, and frankly, without the person who arranged a contract with us that's outside the norm, which the economic model allowed us to be able to continue to operate, despite the fact that it, created work for them and effort. So I just want to thank you to everybody. This has been a big, long road, and I think it is an area that is hopefully going to generate some additional revenue in racing for hopefully all of us. We're just at the very, very beginning of this. Others have now joined in as an wager, and they're partnering working on it for 3 years. So I'm kind of excited to see this thing start to work. I have to just give everybody credit for the efforts we all did together. No chance we did this without the help, with all the help. So thank you. That's it.
Questions? Oh. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you for being in the state of Oregon.
With your permission, I'd like to move on to the next agenda item, which is review of licenses. We'll start with Amwest Entertainment LLC, and Will Gilvich will join me. Just introducing yourself, please.
Sure. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Will Allenpievich, the Chief Operating Officer for Amwest Entertainment, and customers know us as Amwager.
Amwest is operating their site amwager.com, as well as online racing TV, trackinfo.com, saratogabets.com, and idiot.us. Their last audit was most recently completed in November 2025. And that tape showed full compliance with the ORC's rules and statutes. Their license and bond is up to date with us in the state of Oregon. All fees and taxes are up to date or up to speed. They have an operational presence here in Oregon. Their source market fee agreements in place with HRA. And there are no issues of note to bring in front of the board here. Based on all this information, I recommend approval of MLS Entertainment LLC's 5-year license renewal request. No notes additional on my side. Is there anything you wish to say before they turn questions to you?
Yeah, no, it's a privilege to have been operating from Oregon for around 15 years. We look forward to the future and playing an active role, growing horse racing and supporting the horse racing community in Oregon.
I want to compliment them. They've had some changes. AmWest has had some changes in structure and brought employees and partners and have really been great to work with and have been extremely transparent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And commissioners, what we'll do is we will listen through all of the different applications and then at the end vote on. Okay, to go on, please. Yeah, we're gonna do them separately, but I thought we're done.
Okay, that's fine.
Wait till all of them are done and then.
So you have to wait till they were done.
No, I don't think you'll have to.
Doesn't have to see my lap.
Unless commissioners, you feel comfortable doing it every time.
I'm doing it every time.
Okay, so we have a motion to accept the application for AmWest Entertainment.
We accept the license renewal for AmWest Entertainment.
There's a second.
I'll second.
Okay, move second. Any questions? Comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay, it's approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to Oregon. Again.
Welcome back.
Again.
I would now like to move on to Churchill Downs Technology Initiatives Company, joined by Andrew Silver.
Afternoon, commissioners and staff. Andrew Silver, senior counsel with Churchill Downs. Here on behalf of Churchill Downs Technology Initiatives Company, which does business in Oregon and elsewhere. The brand Twinspires.
Those brands include betamerica.com, Keeneland Select, and of course still DKHorse.com as the state-by-state migration continues. The review of Churchill Downs was also found that absolutely no issue. The most recent audit was completed in November of 2025, and they showed full compliance with ORC's administrative rules and revised statutes. Their business license in Oregon is up to date. Their bond is also current. All fees and taxes have been paid. They have an operational presence here, and I have no issues of note to bring up. My recommendation is to approve Churchill Downs' 5-year license renewal request. Is there anything you wish to add?
Yeah, briefly, I just appreciate staff's efforts and the commission's consideration. We enjoy having our hub located here in Oregon, at which we process wagers of residents of Oregon and elsewhere on a multi-jurisdictional basis pursuant to the Federal Interstate Horse Racing Act. Excited to be doing so.
Are there any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
I move we accept the license renewal for Churchill Downs Technology.
A second.
Moved and seconded to accept the license renewal. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is renewed. Thank you.
Next up on the agenda, I'd like to invite Billy Pascal up to the table to discuss event technologies. I'd like to introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon, William Pascal, General Counsel and Head of Regulatory Affairs for BetMakers Technology Group, which is the parent company of licensing event technologies.
eBet Technologies also runs HollywoodRaces.com, National, HorsePlayersBet.com, IdaBet.com, and most recently, MonmouthBets.com. Their last audit was completed in March 2026, showed full compliance with the Oregon Racing Commission's administrative rules and revised statutes. They have an operational presence. Their business license is current in Oregon, as well as their bond. Their list of states is up to speed. Every single item requested is provided and confirmed. I have no issues with recommending approval of eBet Technologies 5-year license renewal.
Any questions? Not?
I'll move that we accept the license renewal for eBet Technology.
Okay,
I'll second.
there's a second. Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
I
Aye. Hey, one, nice and permitted. Thank you very much.
let you get away with not having to comment about it.
Yeah. Really, I missed an opportunity there. Bring it back.
They like their license renewed, they just let it come up to the state board.
Yeah, why?
That's right.
It's beautiful city.
Yeah, just wait till Sunday.
Hi, welcome to the table, Melanie Frank, representing Naira Bet LLC. Melanie, would like to introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Melanie Crank. I am the Vice President and Deputy General Counsel of the Racing Association, head of legal for Naira Bet, and am here representing Naira Bet LLC legal application.
Naira Bet's also is the license holder, and the service supplier relationships are with thoroughgraphs.com/Naira, Caesars racebook.com, and horseracing.betmgm.com. Their most recent audit was completed in October 2025, and they were in full compliance with all rules. They have an active Oregon business license in good standing. They are bond with us up to date. They have an operational presence here in Oregon. All financial components are up to speed, taxes and fees. Melanie, do you have anything you wish to add?
I'd like to thank the Executive Director Wynn, you, yeah, Chair Doherty and Commissioners. And the only thing I'd like to add is, I know you came to me earlier, so I would just like to mention that our long-term strategic partner with Fox, which was asked by one of the commissioners, is still ongoing, and that yielded 970 hours of live racing for us last year, and we do continue that relationship and more hours this year. So we continue to collaborate with industry, the industry partners and the commissioners. We look forward to being here. Thank you.
I have no issues and would recommend approval of Naira Bet LLC's 5-year license renewal.
I move we accept the license renewal for Naira Bets.
I second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Thank you very much.
Starting to get a rhythm here.
We have another one?
Two more.
Oh, that's all.
Next up on the agenda, I would like to present findings of ODS Technologies LP. This is more commonly known as TVG FanDuel. Joining me here at the table is Arturo Barras. If you would like to introduce yourself, please.
Thank you, Micah. Good afternoon, Chair, Commissioners, Executive Director Wynn. My name is Arturo Barajas. I serve on FanDuel's Government Affairs team. Pleasure.
As noted, there are two sites under their purview, racing.fanduel.com and tpg.com. Their most recent audit was just completed, and all issues were compliance with our administrative rules and statutes. Their business license and bonds are up to speed and in good standing. All fees and taxes have been paid. Source market fee agreement, as with all of the reviews done here today, are up to speed with HRA. And I have, before I get my recommendation, Arthur, is there anything you wish to contribute to this?
I just want to extend a thank you to the commission staff, led by Director Wynn. It's a pleasure to work with them on the renewal process, so we appreciate that, the communication.
Thank you.
Based on our findings and reviews, I would like to suggest approving ODS Technology LP's 5-year license renewal request.
I'll move that we accept the license request for ODS Technologies LP.
Well, second.
So it's been moved and seconded. We accept the license renewal for ODS Technology. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. You are renewed. 5 years.
One more.
Okay, here comes the troublemaker, the next word.
Finally.
We should
Reason why
make
I
this
saw
happen.
it, it's great people.
We have a lot of questions for you.
Yeah, the reason why they put their name last on the list.
Save the best for last.
Joining me at the table is Gene Fryer. Gene, should you care to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Gene Shabrier, Vice President of Regulatory Affairs and Business Development for ExpressBet, which is a first technology company.
ExpressBet LLC has a few sites under their umbrella. Besides expressbet.com, there's First Select, First Bet, First Bet Pro, Bet Mix, Bet 365 Racing, and Horse Journeys. My last audit of them was completed in July of 2025, and they showed they were in full compliance with OAR rules and statutes, Oregon revised statutes and rules. Their business license is in good standing with the state of Oregon. Their bond is up to speed. All financial reviews are accurate. All taxes and fees are paid. They have an Oregon presence. Their HRA agreement is up to speed. Before I give my recommendation, Gene, is there anything you wish to add to this conversation?
Well, not to sound like a broken record, but it is truly an honor and a pleasure to work with Director Wynn and Micah. They are extraordinarily helpful and responsive to all of our questions. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Thank you.
Based on our review, my recommendation is to approve ExpressBet LLC's 5-year license renewal request.
I'll move to approve ExpressBet LLC's license request.
Well, second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the license renewal. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And this concludes the ADW hour.
Okay, they've all been approved. And thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. We don't have questions for you, but if we did, we appreciate that your voters, if they answer. Okay. So the next thing we have is the review and possible approval, to begin the rulemaking process on 2 different OARs.
And I will take this up. The first is OAR 462-120-0010, which clarifies reciprocal agreements and defines PI, personal identifiable information. This was brought up for a few reasons. First and foremost, we have installed a reciprocal agreement, but the way it was written, it was allowing either a gaming or a racing commission to have a reciprocal license. Our intent was just to have racing commissions or gaming commissions that regulate racing. the difference between the two became problematic with a few regulating bodies that did not regulate horse racing, that were very slow to respond to us and made it very difficult for us to verify licenses. So this will just make it more clear. That's the first part of it. The second part is recently, our ABWs are expanding all over the world. Their footprint continues to grow. We have call centers everywhere from Africa to Sri Lanka, with many in between. And one thing we learned is personable identifiable information has a different definition in different places. We did have an advisory committee meeting this morning on this, and there's language in there. We've already come up with several changes, such as getting rid of per ORS, blah, 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 changing the name of consumers to account holders. And we realize that we still have more work to do on this, that is what the rulemaking process is for. Continue to have all of our ABWs and others look at this language. The reason why it's important is because we require these individuals to have licenses if they have access to one. So I recommend that you approve this for the rulemaking process for us to begin. We will have a hearing for this and we'll have ample time. This rule wouldn't actually go into effect until our August meeting, I hope, because I plan on not having a July.
Are there any questions? Are there any questions for Director Nguyen? Okay, on this, so do we have a motion to approve the rulemaking process on this?
I'll move to begin the rulemaking process in OAR 462120010.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so move and seconded that we begin the rulemaking process on this OAR. Do you have any questions, comments? Hey, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Okay. Do the rulemaking.
The next one, very late edition, and again, I appreciate Maria and Karen's help in the last minute saying, yes, we actually do want to go forward with this, redo the whole package and figure something out. This is a random or reasonable suspicion drug and alcohol testing and impairment standards. We had language around this, but things have changed a lot. For one, we don't have to do a urinalysis and have somebody walk into a stall with someone like we did in the Army back in the old days. They have swab, and that technology was the direct swab. Mouth swab, yes. So there's different technology that has to be considered, and we needed to make sure, we felt that we needed to have a little more broad range, looked at several other rules. And we want to be very careful on this. You know, we want, the biggest thing is if somebody's handling a horse, we want to make sure that they're in a good state of mind. That's what we're really looking at. So this is a starting point for us. This will require an advisory committee meeting and a hearing. It may not be perfect now, but guys are, I feel like it's very important. Years ago, we had someone actually OD'd and was revised from a meth overdose in one of our farms. So we feel more than just alcohol testing.
Okay. And it looks like this is adding on to a lot of others, so.
Okay, so that, my recommendation is to consider this. And of course, I'll just.
Absolutely. Any questions?
You know,
Okay.
I'm really glad actually to discuss what constitutes impairment. A lot of things can impair a person. You can have a diabetic episode or a seizure or a number of medical conditions impair you or make you unsafe to handle a horse. And I like what we're talking about. What is it that makes a person unsafe to be around a horse? It gives us reasons to suspect this person's not safe to handle horses. Because instead of just randomly saying, oh, you did a thing, you must be dangerous. It's really speaking to what are the behaviors that are actually being observed by staff, give them some, that makes sense.
You're
In
gonna
a
be
lot of
on
ways.
the advisory
I would
committee.
just guess, I would look.
Currently, do we have, breathalyzer in the, not just the jocks room, but capability for those in the paddock?
Yes, we do. And we have done some random testing. The other thing that this does is it clarifies who and when we can test. Actually gives us a little more leverage on that. I think it's an area that we.
Well, I move that we begin the rule making process for OAR 462-130-0005.
Is there a second?
Also,
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to begin the rulemaking process. Any other comments? Hey, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Well, rulemaking process, you're on good ones. Okay, so that actually concludes the business part of our meeting. We're now open to, do we have any public comment? And make sure you identify yourself for the record.
Mike Lowe, President of Southern Oregon Horse Racing Association and CEO of HRA LLC. Earlier today, I was in the ADW meetings and was able to present some ideas of how to increase and make Oregon a better racetrack at Grants Pass Downs. And I want to thank all the ADWs for being here because, as I said in our meeting, that we wouldn't all be here without our ADWs. So I really appreciate them being here. But I just wanted to make it public. Some of the people were not at the ADW meeting. And I put together a package and gave out where all the renovations we want to do at Grants Pass Downs. And we're going to only be able to do this through donations, through some grants, and with the help of racing industry partners, as well as our community in Grants Pass. So I just wanted to make it public. It's the donation page is donate@racingattheroad.org. And if anybody wants to review what we're doing and how we're trying to take Grants Pass Downs to the next level, it will be our only commercial racetrack that we have. And it is one of our fair meets also. So we want to see if we can't make it a better venue in the future for our racing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions? Okay, thank you so much for the comments. I appreciate that. And the presentation. Okay, any other public comment? Anyone online, public comment? Okay, not seeing anything. We have no contested cases. And Commissioner Director, Wayne, you have something to add?
Yes, I had a note asked to me. I'm not gonna actually make her do this. But it was asked to give the opportunity to Mrs. Lloyd if she has any feedback for Micah's upcoming review. I will do that.
I believe Mom is logged off.
You're lucky.
I'm looking forward. That was my mom on the, yes. At one point I looked over and I saw her taking up the whole screen. I went, oh no.
Well, I wish you were still on so we could get a little more background of when you were a
I'm looking
teacher.
forward to the text message of straighten your back.
I'm no longer a teenager.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, we have no executive section. The next meeting that we have is Thursday, June 18th, and that will be through Microsoft Teams. Oh, this is about the only time that we meet together, which is very nice. It's nice to have the commissioners all here because they all have such great expertise, great input, and we appreciate all of you being here to, at least be available to answer any of the questions that we have. It's something that's very important. We have important decisions to make for the state of Oregon. So, anything else anyone of you would like to add? And if not, the meeting is adjourned. That's really